Hello everyone, my name is Ranvari Sharkar. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Till now I have been discussing quite a few things as far as doing research in material science is concerned. I have been discussing there are several things that I have discussed in my earlier videos. In first few in my last of my some of my videos, I have been discussing things related to thesis work, like submitting the thesis and following certain process, getting it verified, getting it checked, and then taking all the signs and all, following a particular process. And so, as I have mentioned in my earlier video, like the thesis work went well, and the thesis got the recommendation from the thesis supervisor and the head of the department. Today I will be actually discussing regarding the thesis, and I would like to present my seminar. Yes, so I'll be presenting today my seminar. Yeah, with that I would like to start. Thank you. Of magnetism and topology. Yeah, so I just like to start. Before I proceed, I would sincerely like to thank Professor Arun Bansil, Bahadur Singh, Borun Ghosh, and Shogoto Mardania for all the help and support that I'm getting for a long time. And obviously we'll be working together for again for a long time. So yeah. So with that, I would like to start that I would like to discuss about the outlook. Mentioned that I will be discussing about the seminar today. So to start with, as I mentioned earlier, that the title of my thesis is First Principle Exploration of Magnetism and Topology. Yeah, so I just like to start. But before I proceed, I would sincerely like to thank Professor Arun Bansil, Bahadur Singh, Borun Ghosh, and Shogoto Mardania for all the help and support that I'm getting for a long time. And obviously we'll be working together for again for a long time. So yeah. So with that, I would like to start that I'd like to discuss about the outlook the talk is like starting from the experimental physics and the theoretical physics. I'll slowly, as I move on in my talk, in the seminar, I'll slowly keep on bringing the topics both from experimental physics and theoretical physics. To start with, I mean, whatever I'll be saying is like based on my experience that I have I myself have worked on. Start with is like from electron beam lithography. So this process I have actually used when to in the process of making superconducting quantum interference devices, which I will show some of my work as I have done earlier. So as far as the electron beam lithography process is concerned, so it's like there are certain process to follow, like exposing it to a certain region. I mean, exposing the material systems to electron beam, and then following certain process and getting the desired pattern that you want to have as far as designing the weak links, as far as designing the Josephson junctions are concerned. So the concept here that generally used is the concept of Josephson junction is like you are bringing two superconducting systems near to each other, and given the length scale of within the length scale of say the term is called the coherence length. Then there is a possibility that there will be a flow of dissipationless current. So yeah, so these concepts that is of very much these are very much these concepts are of very much interest. And then I would like to slowly move towards describing the geometrically frustrated systems, where for example you depending on the atomic positions, depending on the atomic the bond length between two atoms, different kind of magnetic phenomena, different kind of magnetic arrangement can be observed. As far as then that magnetic arrangement can be different as compared to the collinear arrangement. And then bring and the generalization of this process, the generalization of like this process is like making the system more frustrated, or let's say making the spin arrangement more complicated. It's like moving towards like say skyrmion physics. All this will play an important role. So now I would like to discuss, like as I just mentioned, regarding doing research or working with geometrically frustrated systems. So the best way to is predict the magnetic structure. I mean, utilizing the different Newton diffraction facilities. So I had an opportunity to visit ULI Center for Newton Science, and there I had a hands-on experience that I learned quite a few things. As far as working with diffuse neutron scattering experiment, as far as working with single crystal diffractometer. So yeah, I had a good time learning and quite a few interesting phenomena and experiencing the neutron diffraction facilities. So with that, I would like to move like now to slowly bring in the theoretical physics concepts and my experience in working in theoretical physics. So it all starts with I'd like to start with describing the Hall effects. So there are different kind of Hall effects. Let's say ordinary Hall effect is there, anomalous Hall effect is there, spin Hall effect is there, and like the generalizations of the spin Hall effect. I mean the manifestation can be observed in the like say three-dimensional topological insulating systems. So where I mean in principle one can actually observe the gapless boundary modes, either pinned at the center of the surface below zone or pinned away from the center of the surface below zone. Now the question is, if I now, I have been discussing things related to magnetism, related to superconductivity. Now, for example, now if I bring if I bring both topology and magnetism at the same time, and then there are quite a few interesting phenomena can be observed. For example, like if I have magnetic system, if I am bringing a magnetism in the close proximity of a topologically no I mean non-trivial topological systems, then the surface then the boundary properties, then the surface properties, or then the edge properties will change. The topological properties will then depend on the effect of magnetism. So in that way, the concept or the field of magnetic topology will be is in recent times is of utmost importance. Given all those things that I have been discussing, I just like to quickly recap what I have just mentioned till now. Is that starting from working with superconducting quantum interference devices, then working with different Newton diffraction facilities, they're working with geometrically frustrated systems, bringing magnetism in the close proximity of a topological systems, and utilizing this concept or utilizing this fact, where the how the topological properties of a systems is getting changed as far as manipulating these topological systems with magnetism is concerned. So all this concept, all this knowledge will play a very important role as far as if we now consider the bigger picture is like the concept of quantum computing, is like the concept of modern technologies, artificial intelligence, this which I have been constantly mentioning in my earlier videos as well. So with that, I would like to bring in two of our recent works. One of them with like with low dimensional magnetic systems, and another with like magnetic topological systems. So this I will like to discuss slightly in slightly more in more details, but yeah, I would just like to discuss all those things. In all, in a nutshell, is like as I just mentioned, we start from electron beam lithography, then working with superconducting quantum interface devices, then working with different Newton diffraction facilities. There are skyrmion physics. Then as far as theoretical physics is concerned, it's like working with different Hall effects, then bringing in magnetism in the close proximity of a topologically non-trivial systems, observing the newly emerging physics as far as bringing the magnetism in the close proximity is concerned. How the topological properties will change, and then discussing about our two of our works. So with that, I would like to discuss. As I mentioned, that I would like to discuss the things in a slightly in slightly in a different way. I would just like to tell things in a slightly more detailed way. So as far as working I mean as far as my experience in working in experimental physics is concerned, so I have experience preparing weakling junctions or preparing Josephson junctions, where of the intention was to prepare robust weakling junctions, to prepare robust superconducting quantum interference devices, because we are trying quite a few things, as you can see here that we have been trying different link dimensions. There are there are quite a few things. So it's like the unnecessary heating. We at the same time we are trying to reduce unnecessary heating, as low as possible. So there are quite a few things that we were trying, but eventually we came up with certain things. But yeah, so the concept that I have this Josephson junction that I have already mentioned in my earlier slides is like bringing two superconducting systems in the close proximity of each other, and then observing the proximity effect. So now once you have these wing links, then connecting the more weak links simultaneously, then preparing the superconducting quantum interference devices. So and then yeah, so with that I would like to move an opportunity to visit UD Center for Newton Science, and there I had a hands-on experience that I learned quite a few things. As far as working with diffuse neutron scattering experiment, as far as working with single crystal refractometer. So yeah, I had a good time learning quite a few interesting phenomena, and experiencing the neutron diffraction facilities. So with that, I would like to move like now to slowly bring in the theoretical physics forward. I would like to discuss about magnetism in geometrically frustrated systems. So this part I have done with Shiva Bratanandi. So the intention was to observe, was to predict correctly the geometry, predictly a complicated magnetic structure, given the symmetry in the system, given systems with low symmetry, let's say, and also at the same time number of magnetic atoms is higher, larger. So now suppose the way we are trying is like you have it's like every magnetic systems will have now, let's say, a transition temperature. So the way is like perform carry out the diffraction experiment, above the transition temperature, and observe the diffraction pattern and observe the behavior, and then slightly cool it down, go below the transition temperature, and then again follow the same process, and find out the diffraction pattern. And now then superpose the higher temperature plot with the lower temperature plot, and clearly there will be a distinction, and this distinction is nothing but the contribution, magnetic contribution. Now, following a particular way, following a prescribed format, we can in principle find out different complicated magnetic structure. So with that, I would like to, as I just mentioned, that I had an opportunity to visit ULI Center for Newton Science at Germany. So I'd just like to show certain some of the diffractometer, starting from diffuse Newton scattering spectrometer. Then there is HADI, there is a time of flight spectrometer, there is backscattering spectrometer. Yeah, so there is quite a few interesting neutron facilities are there. So with that, now I would like to discuss about things related to theoretical physics. Now extending the same concept as I have learned in while doing experimental physics, I would just like to bring extend this concept towards observing, towards doing exploring magnetic systems. So basically, nowadays in recent times, the two-dimensional magnetic systems are of utmost important. So this all started long back. So it started with like exploring 2D Ising type systems, then 2D like antiferromagnetic systems. Then there comes the ferromagnetic systems. So there are quite a few active research is going on in this field. With that, I would like to say certain things as far as the dimensions are concerned. So as far as magnetism is concerned, so there are spatial dimension, there are spin dimension. So now depending on the spatial and spin dimension, there are quite a few different phenomena can be observed. However, I mean, observing long range magnetic order in the system will be of will be of utmost importance. How given that given the presence of magnetic anisotropy in the system. So the presence of magnetic anisotropy within the system is of utmost importance. As far as observing long-range magnetic order in the system is concerned. So then, there are there are research works which have already found the ferromagnetism in low-dimensional systems, which have already found ferromagnetism in different other van der Waals systems. Then there are works which shows that the long-range magnetic order can be suppressed, but there will be a different type of ordering that may occur. So there are quite a few. So for example, suppression of magnetic ordering in XXZ type antiferromagnetic monolayer in IPS3 systems. So there are quite a few. There are quite a few work. There are quite a few interesting work that are already there. Now bringing a topology again within this magnetism as far as theoretical physics, as far as from the perspective of theoretical point of view is concerned. So the tune so the so our freedom in manipulating these systems, our freedom in tuning these magnetic and topology systems is now we have lots of freedom as far as tuning, as far as manipulating these systems are concerned, as far as far as observing different magnetic systems are, as far as what will I say, designing different magnetic topology systems are concerned. And now if we bring the concept of heterostructure, then obviously there will be a vast range of different new phenomena can be observed, because depending on the orbital contribution, depending on what kind of orbital the system has, depending on what kind of, whether it is d orbital, whether it is p orbital, whether what kind of overlap the system is having, what kind of angle the system is making. There are these kinds of things can be observed. Here, in condition with all this, just like to mention, as I have been constantly mentioning our works, like titled as one of the work is K2COS2, a two-dimensional independent antiferromagnetic insulator, and there is another is magnetically tunable Dirac and Well fermions in the gentle materials family. So these two works, we have and these are the very recent works that we have done. Yeah, so now starting from this, the first work is like K2COS2, a two-dimensional independent antiferromagnetic insulator. This system is of utmost importance because in the monolayer limit, or let's say in the thin film limit, in the other way to say is like is like the observing. We can observe like the system shows flat bands, presence of Hanov singularity, which clearly reflect the system's behavior towards observing very strongly correlated phenomena. The system is dynamically stable, and there are the system also shows robust magnetic anisotropy behavior. The system, on the other hand, is these systems are of utmost importance because these systems has antiferromagnetic. As far as antiferromagnetic spintronic systems are concerned, working with antiferromagnetic systems and obviously low dimensional antiferromagnetic systems is of utmost importance. Now the question is like bringing in the other functionalities, bringing in the other antiferromagnetic materials, other importance of working with antiferromagnetic materials is like the absence of stray fields, ultra-fast dynamics, high energy efficiency. These all make them excellent candidate for as far as antiferromagnetic spintronic devices are concerned. I would also like to just go through the things that I have written here. It's like ferromagnets reacts to external magnetic fields. It is necessary to shield these materials from unwanted magnetic fields generated, for instance, by certain kinds of medical equipment, so that data is not deleted by mistake. The another one is, let's say, antiferromagnetic materials are not influenced by magnetic fields. It has only been possible for them to be used in the field of information technology in combination with other classes of materials. Again, antiferromagnets are magnetically more robust and can in principle be switched faster than ferromagnets. Now having discussed about our work as far as low dimensional systems are concerned, now I would like to discuss, like to bring the topology into the picture. So it all started. So the base basic things that I will be discussing, the basic things that we are working on is like phase transition between different topological systems. So in one hand, so there, I mean, the work as far as working with topological insulating systems, topological non-trivial systems, non-magnetic topological systems are concerned. So there are a vast range of work that has been that has already there. Now the question is, what, as I have been constantly mentioning, now what will happen if you bring in to magnetism and in the close proximity of a topological system. So this all, let's start with this paper titled as Dual Topological Character of Chalcogenides, Theory of Bi2T3. So this has been, so this is like a topological insulating systems with a gapless boundary modes at the center of the build version. Now bringing in magnetism into the picture, bringing in magnetism into the close proximity with a fixed direction, like that will change, that will change the position of the gapless point, and that will end up having, will end up having a gapless point away from the center of the illusion. At the same time, there may be opening of a gap. Now topological, there are other things like topological quantum phase transition from mirror to time inversal, time reversal symmetry protected topological insulating systems. So there again there, as the phase diagram is shown here. So depending on, as the phase diagram is between Bi content, this is Bismuth content, and the temperature. So there are two things that we can actually change at the same time. Okay, so for example, the electron hole density, in one hand you are changing the electron and hole density, in one hand you are basically changing the temperature. So interplay of this order parameters, interplay of these things will eventually end up having, end up having a vast range of different new phenomena, and where we will be observing topological phase transition from trivial insulating system to TCI system, from TCI system to Z2 system. And a vast range of physics, vast range of different new phenomena can be observed. Now there is another reported paper where is showing that not only this like electron hole density, not only this a temperature, not only this a fixed direction, the moment orientation, the orientation of the magnetic moment within a crystal, within the systems is can also be used as an order parameter. And if you change this, if you rotate these moments, you change these moments, there are quite a few again interesting phenomena can be observed. Now combining all these things, combining all these things at a go, combining all these things then we, at the same time like bringing in like the concept of quantum anomalous Hall, and designing these systems, and like the concept of heterostructure, concept of hybridization effect. Yeah, so in that sense I'd like to say again another parameter is like called hybridization effect. Like if you have a quintuple layer, or if you have a, let's say not let's say make it more generalized, let's say you have a systems with 5 atoms, then there is another some material you have, whether you have systems of 7 atoms, you are bringing these two things together, and then you like to say how the things are how the topological properties are changing. So we, and then we combining all these things, combining all these concepts, we then actually publish this paper titled as magnetically tunable Dirac and Well fermions in the gentle materials family. Again the concept is like we have, again it's like you have like strontium systems, strontium SR into S2 systems, UI into S2 system, then with different magnetic ordering of the moments, and then how interplay of all those things, how doping one system in the non-magnetic system with the magnetic system, and interplay of all those things, and emergence of different new topological systems, topological properties are concerned. So these things can be this in a way is a very interesting paper. Now coming to the application of magnetic topology, the question is, if you are working, if we are working, if then what is the application of the magnetic topology of this field? So it starting from starting from the starting from the spintronic devices, starting from the antiferromagnetic spintronic devices, because I have discussed things related to antiferromagnetism and ferromagnetism, and why antiferromagnetism, why will someone will choose antiferromagnetism over ferromagnetism, and things like that. These things these things will play an important role. Yeah, starting from antiferromagnetic and spintronics, and then the concept of exchange bias. So for example, you have an antiferromagnetic system, again coming to the interplay of ferromagnetism and antiferromagnetism. Okay, so you have antiferromagnetism, you have ferromagnetism. Bringing these two together, how will the hysteresis loop will change? Again, how the concept of exchange bias, the concept of exchange bias in that way can be utilized. And then all this like spintronic systems, like the concept of exchange bias, the concept of topological switching, the concept of topological phase transitions, all these in a nutshell can be then used as far as artificial intelligence is concerned, as far as robotics is concerned. Bringing all those things with the modern technology, because everybody wants faster things, everybody wants to move fast. It's like bringing these things to the 5G technology, bringing it to the enhanced mobile broadband and technology and all those things, and like how these all these things in a nutshell can be used as far as providing more security, let's say as far as in a broader picture, providing the security to the defense systems, providing security to the military intelligence, which I will be discussing briefly in my next slides. But yeah, so and now so the news, this is the era, as I've been constantly mentioning, that this is the era of quantum computing, this is the era of faster technology, this is the era of 5G. So all these things is starting from spintronics, concept of exchange wires, concept of robotics, concept of artificial intelligence, concept of topological switching, all this combining in quantum computing and then 5G technology. So this all in a nutshell can be combined, combined and to for in a broader picture, to provide more security, to provide to utilize all these concepts in the defense and military intelligence systems and all. Yeah, so this goes in on one hand of as far as working with, what will I say, working with modern like memory devices, modern technological system is concerned. In another hand, you have like medical research. So there is a huge importance, there is a huge implications of this field of working in magnetic topological systems in the field of magnetic in the field of medical research. So the concept of atomic demagnetization can be used, the concept of transcranial magnetic stimulation can be used. So in one end, the concept of adiabatic demagnetization can be used for cancer therapy, cancer research things, and transcranial magnetic stimulations, where the concept of magnetism and how yeah, so this concept in a broader picture can be used as far as treating the major depression or like a mental disorder things are concerned. Yeah, so just continuing the things that I just mentioned, that all these combining these exchange bias things, this spintronics things, this 5G internet technology, these quantum computing things, these robotics things, this artificial intelligence, all this in combined can be used, can be utilized for enhanced defense and military intelligence technology. And again, coming back to the same of quantum computing, there is a recent news that the quantum titled as quantum one-way street in topological insulator nanowires. So these all are being now of these things are of immense interest in recent times. And again the same things that I've discussed, like doing like the implication of these things in medical research, and doing and following like this. Again, I would mainly like to mention transcranial magnetic stimulation, and treating the medical, cancer therapy, for cancer therapy, like the adiabatic demagnetization process. All these things can be of utmost importance. Now the question is, as I've shown earlier, that I have already given my sincere thanks to the group, to the people that I have been working on for a long time, and who have been helping me in every possible way. So yeah, so the future roadmap from here on is like working in different systems. So exploration of magnetic topology in low dimension systems, there are quite a few. There are vast range of work that has been going on, this being a competitive field. We are actually constantly trying on, as far as working in different systems are concerned. So it all starts from magnetic anisotropy, but to there are quite a few. I'm just showing some part of them to capture I mean, as much as I can. To capture the physics as much as I can. So, like magnetic anisotropy in dimensional systems, like in MnBI to T4 systems, then tuning the 3D 2D magnetism in this BI MnBI to T4, BI to T3 topology including family. I mean, these systems, and there are like then there comes the concept of high Chern number concept. This again separate thing. Then comes antiferromagnetic topological insulating with non-symmetric protection in two dimension. Is like the concept of using Kramer's pairs, the concept of using doublet pairs. So this all in a nutshell will play important role. And then there is unique thickness dependent properties of van der Waals system. So like if you take a sum of the atoms from a particular unit cell, what will happen? If you bring in like more atoms in the unit cell, what will happen? So there are quite a few things, and then obviously these things, I mean, the outcome of and is very interesting. Again, the future roadmap and the exploration of triangular topology in heterostructure. This time we will be looking for in heterostructure, because quantum anomalous Hall insulating systems, like again, I mean this research, again this quite a few research activities is going on in this field. Yes, and the concept of hybridization induced gap, concept of hybridization gap, I mean concept of hybridization between different layers, different atom, I mean different atomic layers is of utmost importance. Then the concept like Coulomb interaction, then the concept of like how the concept of Coulomb interaction, how the concept of hybridization effect will play an important. I mean, how the interplay of this will be giving us different new phenomena, different new interesting physics as far as working with magnetic topological systems are concerned. So again, on the other hand, is like proximity induced effect. So in the earlier I have discussed about superconducting proximity effect, and the result was the outcome was reception junction. Here we are mainly interested in proximity again, but this time you have a non-trivial topological systems, you have a non-magnetic non-trivial topological systems. Again, non-magnetic non-trivial topological systems, you are bringing in magnetism within the close proximity of these systems, and then how the systems, how the system is behaving, how the topological properties are changing. This on in a nutshell will play an important role. And then this paper reach MnSB to T4, a topological insulator with magnetic gap closing at high Curie temperature, 45 to 50 Kelvin. This paper this paper I mean shows quite a few vast range of work, like how the properties, how I mean depending on the magnetic orientation, depending on the stoichiometry, depending on like how you are growing your crystal. So whether the crystal is single crystal or that crystal is polycrystal. So vast range of physics and vast range of interesting physics have already been observed, and we are constantly working on certain things. And yeah, so things are good in that way. Now again, another thing is like designing material systems. So we have quite a few other parameters in hand. Hybridization effect is there, bringing magnetism in the close proximity is there, magnetic orientation of the magnetic moments are there, lattice distortions are there, and then other I mean again, yeah, so yeah, in other sense, like being preparing heterostructure are concerned. So all these experience together can be combined, and we can actually in principle design quite a few different interesting material systems. So with that, I would like to show some of the publications that I have been that I'm author of. So yeah, so with that, I would like to thank again the 22nd JCNS laboratory course, and also the organizers for giving me an opportunity to attend the course. And yeah, so thanks. And with that, I would just also thanks the friends, teachers, and IIT Kanpur. Yeah, so thank you. Together can be combined, and we can actually in principle design quite a few different interesting material systems. So with that, I would like to show some of the publications that I have been that I'm author of. So yeah, so with that I would like to thank again the 22nd JCMS laboratory course and also the organizers for giving me an opportunity to attend the course, and yeah, so thanks. And with that I will just also thanks the friends, teachers, and IIT Kanpur. Yeah, so thank you. Having discussed all those things, I would just like to say thanks. Thanks to everybody who have been helping me and who has helped me to throughout this process. Thanks a lot. Yeah, so now it's like moving forward and pursuing research as a career. So with that I would like to say thank you. Stay tuned again. Yeah, I will be coming in more videos. Thank you.